When did bread stop being bread? At some point, the loaf your grandparents trusted became something unrecognizable. It got softer, sweeter, stranger. The ingredients multiplied. And a food that humans have relied on for millennia, just 4 simple components, transformed into one of the most heavily processed items on supermarket shelves. This is not a story about danger. It is about deliberate design. Today, we are examining 8 UK bread brands that represent the worst of industrial food engineering and revealing the 2 that actually deserve your money. Let's start at number 8. Warburton's Toastie. Few names feel more British, more dependable. Their toasty loaf delivers exactly what it promises. Perfect toast, every time. Even browning. Uniform slices. Zero variation. And that is the problem. Authentic bread changes. Fermentation is a living process. Dough behaves differently based on temperature, humidity, and time. But Warburton's Toastie is engineered for absolute consistency, using emulsifiers, vegetable oils, enzymes, and tightly controlled industrial processes. None of these additives are dangerous. They exist for one purpose: predictability. This loaf is not designed to taste remarkable. It is designed to survive factories, lorries, warehouses, and kitchen cupboards without changing. The result? Bread that functions well but offers virtually no flavor or substance. One customer review summarized it perfectly. Sweetened cardboard. When you strip away everything that makes bread real, what remains is simply a vehicle for butter and jam, an edible sponge. Number 7 brings us to Hovis Seed Sensations, another household name attempting to appear health-conscious. The loaf is covered in seeds, marketed as wholesome, natural, and nutritious. But those seeds are camouflage. Strip them away, and you find the same ultra-processed foundation as every other industrial loaf. Refined flour, preservatives, emulsifiers, rapeseed oil. They have taken low-quality bread and rolled it in seeds the way chicken nuggets get coated in breadcrumbs, hoping you will not examine what lies beneath. It works. People see seeds and assume health. They see the word sensations and imagine premium quality. Flip the package over. High sodium, minimal fiber, a list of additives that would horrify a traditional baker. Customer reviews reveal loaves developing mold within 2 days. Others complain it tastes dry and lifeless, even when fresh. The seeds cannot disguise what they are hiding. Poor quality bread that was never meant to nourish anyone. At number 6, we reach Kingsmill Great White, the loaf that has been a kitchen staple for decades. The one your mother probably bought. The one you have trusted without question. But the uncomfortable reality is this. Kingsmill Great White represents processed mediocrity at its finest. It is soft. It is consistent. It lasts for days without going stale. But that is not because it is good bread. It is because it has been engineered to survive. This loaf is designed to sit in warehouses, travel in lorries, remain on shelves, and then occupy your cupboard for a week without changing texture. Real bread does not behave this way. Real bread goes stale. It hardens. It develops character. The fact that Kingsmill Great White does not tells you everything. Look at what is actually inside. Emulsifiers like E471 and E472E. Flour treatment agents, including ascorbic acid, not natural vitamin C but a synthetic version used to accelerate industrial baking, palm oil, to create that artificially smooth crumb. Ingredients designed to keep it soft far longer than nature ever intended. Reviews describe it as spongy and tasteless. One person said they would rather eat cardboard. But what comes next might genuinely surprise you. Number 5. Tesco Finest Sourdough. The one with finest in the name. The one positioned in the premium section. The one that costs more and promises artisan quality. Here is the scandal. It is not real sourdough. Tesco Finest Sourdough uses sourdough starter, but also relies on commercial yeast and accelerated production methods. Some loaves depend on flavoring ingredients to replicate sourness rather than genuine long fermentation. This is fake sourdough. Industrial bread wearing a sourdough costume. Tesco knows exactly what they are doing. They understand that sourdough is trendy. They recognize people will pay more for it. So they print the word on the label and hope you will not notice the difference. One baker called it an insult to authentic sourdough. They are absolutely right. It may be legal, but it is not the same as slow bakery-made sourdough. Real sourdough offers health benefits, including easier digestion. What you are paying for here is branding, not fermentation. At number 4, we hit the budget end with Aldi Everyday Essentials White Medium. The loaf that costs less than £1, the one students buy. The one people grab without thinking because it is cheap and available. But what are you actually buying? The absolute bare minimum of what can legally be called bread. Every possible corner has been cut. Every ingredient has been cheapened. Every shortcut has been taken. The result is something that looks like bread, slices like bread, and technically is bread, but it is bread the same way a frozen ready meal is cooking. The texture is peculiar, simultaneously spongy and dry. It sticks to the roof of your mouth. It has that strange sweetness all ultra-processed white bread has. Not because there is honey or malt in it, but because the refined carbohydrates are so simple, your saliva starts breaking them down the second they touch your tongue. One person said they would not even feed this to the ducks. That is not snobbishness. Even the ducks deserve better. Now let's get into the top 3. This is where it gets truly bad. At number 3, we reach a loaf that should not exist. Asda Smart Price White, the cheapest of the cheap. The loaf that costs 36p. 36. Think about what it takes to make bread. Growing wheat, milling flour, mixing dough, baking it, slicing it, packaging it, transporting it, stocking it, selling it. And somehow, after every person in that supply chain takes their cut, you can buy a loaf for 36p. How is that possible? What corners were cut? What compromises were made? The answer is in your hands when you open the bag. The bread is impossibly light, so soft it compresses into nothing when you squeeze it. It has no substance, no weight, no character, like holding edible air. And the taste? There is no taste. It exists only to fill space between other ingredients, not food. Filler. Reviews speak for themselves. Tastes like chemicals. Made my kids gag. Even the dog would not eat it. And who buys this bread? Families struggling to make ends meet. People who have no choice but to buy the cheapest option. Parents trying to feed their children on impossibly tight budgets. What are they getting? The lowest quality, most nutritionally bankrupt product that can legally be sold as bread. That is not right. That is not a consumer failure. That is a system failure. At number 2, Lidl's Rowan Hill White. Almost identical to the Asda offering, which tells you everything. These discount supermarkets are in a race to the bottom. Who can make bread cheaper? Who can cut more corners? Who can squeeze more profit from less product? The result is a loaf so processed, so stripped of anything resembling nutrition, so packed with chemicals and conditioners that calling it bread feels generous. But what makes this particularly insidious is the name, Rowan Hill. Sounds charming, doesn't it? Like a small village bakery, rolling countryside, traditional values. But Rowan Hill is not a place. It is a brand name invented by Lidl's marketing department to make you feel warm about buying industrial bread. Emotional manipulation wrapped in plastic. One reviewer said it perfectly. Like eating damp cotton wool. And here we are, the worst of the worst. Number 1. Morrison's Savers White. This loaf represents everything wrong with modern British food. Cheap, convenient, and utterly devoid of quality, nutrition, or care. Reviews are staggering in their consistency. Tastes of nothing. Chemical aftertaste. Goes moldy within days. So soft, it disintegrates when you try to spread butter on it. One person said they genuinely questioned whether they had accidentally bought sandwich sponges instead of bread. Think about that. It was so far from real bread they wondered if it was even food. This is the endpoint of industrial bread production. A product engineered to cost as little as possible while technically still qualifying as bread under UK food law. Morrisons, a supermarket that once prided itself on quality, on fresh food counters, on traditional butchers and bakers, is selling this. They have put their name on it. So where should your money actually go? Local independent bakeries. Find one near you where they mix dough that morning, where you can smell it baking, where the baker knows what sourdough actually means. Yes, it costs more. But you are paying for real food made by real people. Supermarket in-store bakeries work too. Waitrose, Sainsbury's, Tesco, all have them. Not perfect, still made from industrial mixes, but leagues ahead of packaged loaves. Premium ranges offer another option. Waitrose Duchy, organic, M and S select farms. Better, not perfect, but better. Or make your own. Flour, water, salt, yeast. It takes time, but most of that time is just waiting.